Welcome back. This is BrainStorm with Brian Sturm. I am a gamer, game designer, and I've been a game tester. And this is Bioshock Infinite. I'm going to go through and try and provide you with some game design, some level design, or general industry knowledge. Take from it what you can. And of course, to my fellow game industry people, if I do critique something or I complain about something, it's me as a gamer, as a player, complaining about it. I obviously understand what goes into making a game and the decisions you had to make. But I believe as a gamer I'm allowed to have my reactions, and I want to be honest with my reactions. Okay, one of the wonderful things about this moment right here is that you can easily miss out on this opportunity. I thought I was being sneaky. First playthrough I jumped down here. It never occurred to me that they could just make this easily shootable. Also, if you even touch it, look at this, you just fall right on through. So they want to make this an easy secret area for people to find. And they want to get you into the idea of, first of all, you get to see the way these people live. You get to actually see some nice filling out of cultures. Kind of 19th century culture, you would say. They want you to, use a sink. Oh, I just got 10 rads. I just drank from the toilet. Damn it. And obviously, they want to intrigue you and reward you with a treasure chest you can't open. So this triggered not only an audio cue from your character, from Booker, it actually cued pausing of the menu and giving you a UI. It also, if you notice, gives you your very first optional quest. So there's a lot of things that happen here by finding this area.
Hey, it's all right. I'm not like the rest.
Now, I wasn't quite sure if this guy had the key on him, so the first time I played through, I actually killed him just to try and get the key. Really, a lot of money and a lot of time allows you to do wonderful things like every suicide is unique. Look at this, dedication. Boom. And that's dedication. 4 hits to the head. Oopsie. Sorry. Cinder 1. Oh well. Alright. Good enough. I don't care. Now, funny enough, even though I had already done a jump, I jumped over here, and my first playthrough, I actually had a pretty silly moment. I couldn't figure out what I was supposed to do next. Now, mind you, a lot of human beings have problems with looking up. It's just not in our nature for the most part, to have to look up. And so it's not a problem if you hadn't found this secret area, and it is slightly a problem if you weren't really thinking about how this game works. Of course, thereafter, I was pretty darn good about looking up throughout the rest of the game. Once again, we have lots of items around the chairs. They want to get you used to going through things like this. Okay. And believe it or not, I've actually seen people have problems with this area. So they run around and they're jumping off the edge and they think, they just don't know where they're supposed to be going. And for some reason, they seriously didn't think that the door was like a real place to go and enter into. I have no idea why. But that's some of the agony that happens as a level designer. Just you take for granted that some people their brains just work differently, and Now, what I'd like to point out is that
The one they're after.
this is a neat little area insofar as the fact that they're trying to show you that you don't have to always have combat. That looks really untextured. Well, oh well. Anyway, and they try to tell you that you could actually go out and you would maybe get behind the enemies. So, the reason why, I mean, I don't particularly care about that NPC, but the reason why I did this is because actually this fight inside the house is actually much easier than the fight that ends up happening out there. Mainly because it just becomes a choke point. So ironically, even though they try to tell you that you don't always have to have combat and you can have an easier time by going down that hallway, it's quite easier actually to fight this fight inside the house. You notice that he didn't have to impart some kind of like morality upon me because I killed just because I killed that NPC that supposedly is a nice person. Whoopsie. Hello. Whoops. That is not a good thing. And actually, I've been a little bit cavalier about this fight. Maybe I should actually... I should actually try a little harder there. Because I certainly am not trying hard enough. Alright. Well, that was hilarious. As I'm telling you that the fight's much easier. But, trust me, the second time I played through, I decided to just fight right here, and it was quite easy. Obviously, I got a little bit overconfident. The other fight that you can have that is fairly easy is to trigger the fight like this, and then come inside and kill them like so. Oh yeah, I remember where the key is. Okay. The one of the things that they do try to make this nice and easy, you see there's salts here. There's a way that if you're absolutely desperate, you can get your health up. And see, this is where I think it's just so much harder. There's a machine gun shooting at you. I mean, I don't know. I don't subscribe to the fact that it's easier this way. Okay. I will quickly loot as much as I can. If you think about, I would have loved, without the energy source, that this horse was turned off, just like that, and just no animation. I don't know. Little things like that are the stupid ideas that go through my head sometimes. Much easier to just plop down the asset if it already has animation attached to it and run with that. Now, if you notice this and this display, even if you're not paying that much attention, even subconsciously, you do get a little bit. They're putting the hat out here, and and of course you have this voxophone, so you end up learning a lot about this ever-expanding world, and how much the enemy is aware of you and your impending arrival. Okay, and for a few minutes from now, what I want everyone to note is I want you to look at this area that I have right here. right? I've killed all of the enemies. Do you see any boxes on the ground? Do you see anything on the ground? Those little wooden boxes? No, right? All right, keep that in mind. Off we go. Okay, wonderful area. Let me just go up here. If you notice also a little bit, you could have pressed up here. You have the machine gun to deal with. You got cover, you got cover, you got cover, and you can deal with the machine gun. You got cover, and you can come up behind it. This is some of the things that level designers have to think about. And one last thing I do want to note for people is reusing of really, really nice assets that are very noticeable. When you sometimes if you have an asset that is really memorable, you got to be careful about how much you reuse it, because if you do reuse it too much, it loses its impact, and you kind of diluting the impact of it. And also, you just make your whole world look more like a game and less immersive. Just looks like a bunch of copy-pasted crap. Okay, for artists and for people out there, I want you to notice the amount of saturation of color. And right there. You see what happened to the saturation? And once again, by rights, all of that stuff should be still well lit in a real world. That would be well lit. This stuff could be all spooky pooky. So the lighting seems to be centralized on the character, which is a good way maybe to save on processing power or memory. But from an emotional standpoint, you see what they're doing here. Also, with the desaturation, you have a little bit of the illusion of when you die, when you go to Booker's private detective room, and you get this sense of you're in this dead place, just because of the lighting and the desaturation. Okay. Now, this area is pretty basic. You notice that they make it fairly obvious that there's just no items to get. They have one little item right here, and that's only if somebody's really walking around and looking for items. They give you a little bit of a reward. Oh, I almost forgot. But just to draw people in, to keep the flow of the game going as fast as possible, you know, there's not much in the way of light, and then they have this light right here, bright light, and it's also doing the flickering thing like the 90s stupid website flickering advertisements. And just gets your attention, gets you going here. Also, obviously, it's all spooky pooky, you know, super dangerous. Things are flickering. You have a lot of atmosphere going on here. And yet, making it pretty obvious. Now, I want you to notice to get your attention here, right, with the lighting. And then you get lighting here and you get lighting here. You get these big, noticeable options. Now, am I drawn to go up those stairwell? No, of course I'm drawn to go into one of these side rooms with this lighting. Damn it, I'm stuck on a chair or something. All right. They want to give you more information here. They want to be fleshing out the world for you. You notice there's tons and tons of ways to get your health or salts back up. And a lot of ways to actually hurt your salts, if you just noticed. Great amount of atmosphere. If you want to notice, for people who are into 3D Max or into Unreal Engine, you see this yellow dot? You see how its reflection I mean, what I assume is because this is actually there's a lamp asset, and the lamp asset doesn't really exist, folks. There's a lamp asset, and then there's also a lighting asset. And what you're seeing is a little bit of a bug that you can actually see the lighting asset and its reflection. Cool moment. Nasty little bits and pieces. So birds are very not afraid of you. Fantastic moment. Great little bit of story right there. How kind of just wrong these people are. And they see Abraham Lincoln as this devil, and there's quite a hero of John Wilkes Booth. So you get wrapped around here, and both of these exits from these doors, look at the lighting on the stairwell at this point. It kind of catches your eye now. So when you come out of these things, it's really easy. Also, you see how much the stairwell extends out, catching your eye, making you want to go up.
And so, the prophet led us into Peking, where we demonstrated to the Sodom below.
And really one of your first humongous big fights. Now, I don't want to kill off all of these guys because I want to show off some of the interesting AI behavior that's happening.
He did not come crawl! Stop it!
Alright, hopefully I didn't kill too many of them. Let's see if we can't get some... There it is. There we go. Wonderful. So, from a level design standpoint, what I believe what's happening is when they're jumping like that, coming up. I assume some of them want to jump down at this point, right? Jump down, and there's not a jump down. Okay, so if you imagine that possibly, invisibly, there's a little spot at all of these windows. And so when the AI's behavior says, okay, strategically, we've been given a weighted system in which we want to be a certain distance away from the player, the Booker character, and we need to get down or up. They will go to those scripted spots and then jump down. This really helps out with pathfinding. It really helps out with the perception that the AI behavior is really cool and strategic. To say that word wrong, strategic. So as the game progresses, if you can think about that technology, about these invisible spots in which the AI is well, all the AI has to do is get to these nice open scripted areas and then do the scripted event. And it really reduces a lot of complications and a lot of complexity in the AI behavior and in the pathfinding, while giving a better experience to the player. Why I want you to keep that in mind is when we get to all of the rail jumping and all of the rail sliding, watching what the AI does with that in mind is going to be very interesting.